Pacific Southwest Airlines, commonly referred to as PSA, emerged as a notable figure in aviation during the late 1960s and 70s. Founded in 1949 by Kenny Friedkin, PSA initially started as an air taxi service. However, its vision was much bigger, and by the 1970s, the airline had transformed into a major player in California's skies. With its headquarters in San Diego, PSA was often nicknamed the Smiling Airline. This was not just due to the literal smile paint on the nose of the aircraft, but also because of their remarkable customer service and crew. This cheerful branding set PSA apart from many of its competitors, making it a beloved choice for many travelers in the West. Throughout the 1970s, PSA focused primarily on its interstate routes, connecting key Californian cities like San Francisco, Los Angeles, and San Diego. This made them particularly popular among business commuters, as well as families and tourists. Their flights were known for their punctuality and their recognizable livery, an expanse of vibrant colors that mirrored the lively spirit of California. Innovation was also at the heart of PSA's operations. They were among the first to introduce advanced booking systems and computerized reservations, setting the stage for a modern approach to flight bookings. Their fleet mainly comprised of Boeing aircraft, reflecting their commitment to using advanced and reliable machines for their services. However, amidst cheerful branding and innovative approaches, PSA, like all airlines, was tasked with the significant responsibility of safety. Every departure and arrival carried with it the trust of hundreds of passengers, and as PSA expanded its wings across California, ensuring the highest standards of safety and communication became more crucial than ever. In retrospect, understanding PSA's prominence and reputation in the late 70s provides context to the magnitude of the tragedy of Flight 182, a disaster that not only impacted the airline but sent ripples across the aviation industry, emphasizing the eternal need for vigilance and safety. The morning of September 25, 1978 began like any other day for the passengers and crew boarding PSA Flight 182. The sun had just begun its ascent, casting a golden hue over Sacramento, as people, each with their own stories, purposes, and destinations, boarded a Boeing 727. Their journey would take them southwards, with a brief touchdown in Los Angeles, before concluding in the coastal city of San Diego. This Boeing 727, a symbol of modern aviation, was designed to hold more than its 135 passengers and a crew of 7 comfortably. The crew, seasoned with experience, was led by Captain James McPherson. With every flight, there is a symphony of tasks that happen behind the scenes, tasks that the crew was proficiently trained for. From the co-pilot to the flight attendants, each played a role in ensuring that the flight was comfortable, efficient, and above all, safe. As Flight 182 approached the airspace of San Diego, it navigated the busy California skies that saw a mix of commercial giants like the 727 and smaller private aircraft like the Cessna 172. Unknown to the passengers of Flight 182, at the same juncture, a small Cessna 172 painted in the modest colors of Gibbs Flight Center was preparing for its journey. Operated by 2 individuals, Martin Casey Jr. and David Boswell, the Cessna had a much simpler task for that day, a training flight. Montgomery Field, a general aviation airport known for its buzzing activities, was the starting point of this Cessna's voyage. Unlike the commercial hubs, Montgomery Field had a charm of its own, with young aviators learning the ropes and veterans taking to the skies for leisure. Boswell, who was in training for his instrument rating, had taken the controls while Casey, an experienced instructor, guided him. Flight 182 reported to the air traffic control that they had the Cessna in sight. However, as both aircraft continued their respective paths, they lost visual contact. The ATC's phrasing of some instructions has been analyzed and criticized for potential mistakes. It's more likely that the PSA crew might have mistaken another Cessna, which was ahead of the one they eventually collided with, as the aircraft they were supposed to be tracking. Their flight took them on an ascending path that would tragically intersect the descending trajectory of Flight 182. The skies above San Diego, as vast as they might seem, are meticulously divided and regulated by air traffic controllers. These invisible boundaries and paths are essential in ensuring the harmonious movement of aircraft big and small, and it is within this intricately managed airspace that the 2 vastly different aircraft, one a commercial behemoth and the other a modest trainer, found themselves on an unintended collision course. The gravity of the situation was not immediately apparent, but as the seconds ticked by, the lives of those on both aircraft and many on the ground below were about to be irrevocably altered. Witnesses on the ground recounted a horrific sight. The once majestic Flight 182 now trailing smoke spiraling downwards with an alarming speed. Its final moments were marked by a deafening roar, followed by an immense fireball, as it met the ground in a devastating crash. forever altering the history of San Diego and the aviation world. The tragic collision resulted in the loss of 144 lives, all on board both aircraft and several on the ground. The subsequent investigation by the National Safety Transportation Board, NTSB, led to several recommendations. One of the primary takeaways was the critical importance of maintaining visual separation and the role of clear communication between pilots and ATC. The tragedy also highlighted the potential risks of mixing large commercial aircraft with smaller general aviation traffic in the vicinity of major airports. The rawness of the tragedy felt by the loss of 144 lives sent shockwaves, not only through San Diego, but across the world. The smoking debris, the grieving families, and the somber realization that the skies, as vast as they are, can become theaters of catastrophe left a haunting impact. Immediately following the incident, the National Transportation Safety Board, or NTSB, one of the foremost authorities in transportation safety, took the helm of the investigation. Their meticulous scrutiny revealed that several crucial areas of improvement for the aviation sector. Foremost among the lessons was the reaffirmation of the age-old principle of flying, the importance of maintaining visual separation. The skies, despite being monitored by radar and advanced equipment, rely heavily on the eyes of pilots. This incident brought to the forefront the need to ensure pilots are trained even more rigorously in visual detection and avoidance techniques, especially in crowded airspaces. Communication, the very backbone of safe aviation, was spotlighted as a potential Achilles heel. The dialogues between the pilots and ATC, often taken for granted, were found to be susceptible to misunderstandings. The NTSB emphasized refining communication protocols to ensure clarity and mutual understanding. Every word, every instruction, every acknowledgement holds a weight and leaves no room for confusion. Lastly, the disaster underscored an often overlooked aspect of air travel, the coexistence of commercial and general aviation in close airspace. Major airports buzzing with large commercial aircraft often share the skies with the smaller planes from nearby general aviation airfields. This collision forced the industry to question and reevaluate this proximity. It sparked discussions on potentially establishing distinct corridors for different types of aircraft, or enhancing monitoring systems that better track and manage diverse air traffic. In the end, the PSA Flight 182 disaster became a somber teacher. While the aviation world mourned the irreplaceable loss, it also committed itself to evolve, ensuring that such tragedies serve as catalysts for change, propelling the industry towards ever-increasing safety standards. It's an unfortunate truth that the most profound lessons often come at the highest costs. While we cannot turn back time to avert the losses from that day, it becomes our solemn duty to ensure that the memories of those lost propel us forward in our pursuit of safer skies. The events surrounding the collision highlighted glaring gaps in communication and airspace management. The aviation world was prompted to closely re-examine its practices, from the training of pilots and air traffic controllers to the very technology and protocols that govern our skies. In conclusion, while the echoes of PSA Flight 182's tragedy will forever remain, they serve as a constant reminder, a call to action. They challenge us to strive for perfection and to ensure that the skies remain a testament to human achievement and not a ledger of our oversights.